Almost 1 in every 5 women struggle with PCOS. Statistics are only increasing with time. One of the most common misconceptions that women with PCOS face is that it is very difficult for them to conceive naturally and they have to opt for assisted reproductive techniques like IUI or IVF in order to be able to conceive. Even when you Google conception with PCOS, and the first thing that comes up is that women with PCOS would require an IVF to conceive. Now, what if I tell you that that is actually not true, and those who struggle with PCOS can definitely conceive naturally if they learn to balance their hormones better and also learn to track their cycles. So in this video, we're going to walk through 6 things that you have to do in order to help balance your hormones and improve your fertility in order to aid conception. So if this is something that interests you, definitely watch the video till the end. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Zainab Tajir. I am a homeopathy consultant and psychological counselor. I specialize in helping women balance their hormones and help couples conceive naturally through homeopathy and holistic lifestyle changes. I also create a lot of content around balancing hormones and fertility around men and women. So if this kind of content is something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. PCOS is the most common metabolic and endocrine disorder, and the imbalance of hormones in PCOS makes it difficult for women to have regular period cycles and also to ovulate regularly. So women with PCOS have extremely irregular cycles. They might present with frequent periods or delayed periods. Also, sometimes their periods are scanty or heavy, and all of these irregularities then creates anovulatory cycles or makes it difficult to predict ovulation. So the first thing that you need to do in order to be able to conceive with PCOS is help your body trigger ovulation. Now, we do know that a woman is only fertile 3 to 5 days before her ovulation and on the day of ovulation. And that is the only time during the entire menstrual cycle that a woman can conceive. So being able to ovulate is very, very important. Now, helping your body ovulate boils down to having a good lifestyle and good diet. I also have an entire video about the foods that can help improve the egg quality and what is a fertility diet. I will definitely try and link those videos here. So definitely consider watching them and get more information about this. The second most important thing is to be able to track your ovulation. So like I already mentioned, since a woman is only fertile during her ovulation, being able to understand your ovulation is important. Now for those who have regular period cycles, let's say 28 to 30 days, we do know that those women might ovulate around day 14 to 16 of the cycle. But with irregular period cycles, it becomes fairly difficult to predict this. So let's say if your cycle is 45 days, you might ovulate at around day 30 of your cycle. But how would you really know this if you aren't tracking your cycles? So there are various ways in which women can track their cycle. The most common one is charting your cycles with basal body temperature charting, tracking your cervical mucus, tracking your cervical position. I also have an entire video about the signs and symptoms of ovulation. So if you are interested in knowing more about it, definitely check that video here. Now, the second most common thing that you can do is use ovulation predictor kits. These are kits that are easily available in medical stores or online, and using these kits helps you detect the LH hormone in the urine, which usually increases prior to ovulation. So that is another way in which you can track your ovulation. Then you can also resort to sonographies or follicular monitoring. In these sonographical studies, we primarily try to understand if there is any dominant follicle which is present in your ovary and also predict rupture, based on which you can then try for a conception. And lastly, you can also run a blood test, which is a serum progesterone test, which is done 7 days post-ovulation in order to confirm your ovulation in a particular cycle. So learning these techniques that will help you track your ovulation better is very useful, especially when you're trying to conceive. The third thing that needs to be done is to opt for a PCOS-friendly diet. We know that the 2 primary causes of PCOS are insulin resistance and inflammation, and learning to manage both of these conditions is extremely important. and therefore it's very important for you to opt for more foods that will help reduce the inflammation and balance your insulin levels. I also have an entire video about insulin resistance and foods that can help you manage it and the good elements of a PCOS diet. So you can refer to those videos to get more information about this. But mostly what we do recommend is to stay away from refined carbs, refined sugars, processed foods, junk foods, maida, etc. and opt for more whole foods, nuts, seeds into your diet, and also primarily follow a balanced plate method that contains adequate amount of fibers, proteins, carbs and good fats in every meal. The fourth important thing that you have to do is to indulge in regular physical activity. There are so many studies and research that have been done trying to link physical activity with fertility, and all of these studies have highlighted that women who are physically active have a much better fertility than those who do not have any physical activity into their routine. But the one thing to remember is there is also multiple studies that highlight that indulging into extremely high intensity physical activity very frequently can rather have a negative impact on your fertility. So we do recommend low to moderate intensity exercises when you are trying to conceive. So yoga, Pilates, low intensity strength training, walking, slow jogging, etc. are certain activities that you can adopt and do those for 30 to 40 minutes at least 3 to 4 times a week in order to help with boosting your fertility and aiding conception. The fifth important thing that you have to do is to manage your cortisol levels. Stress, sleep and fertility are three things that really go hand in hand. Therefore, adopting certain stress management techniques into your entire routine can be very helpful. Yoga, meditation, journaling, indulging into artistic activities that can help bring your stress levels down can help you in managing your cortisol levels and in turn reduce its impact on your reproductive hormones. And at the same time, having adequate 6 to 8 hours of sleep every single day is what we recommend. So it's very important for you to work in sync with your circadian rhythm, especially when you are trying to conceive, in order to help your body boost its fertility. And the last thing that you need to do is to take the adequate supplements. Now, with PCOS, there are certain supplements that are non-negotiables. Inositol, vitamin D, vitamin B12, omega-3, zinc, magnesium, etc. Again, I do have an entire video on the supplements that you can take with PCOS, so you can refer to those for more additional information. And when trying to conceive, incorporating folic acid into your routine is important. But when it comes to supplements, of course, every individual has a separate requirement. So what we do recommend is you speak to your healthcare professional regarding what is required in your particular case, and then begin with taking these supplements daily in order to aid your body with conception. So that brings me to the end of the video. Another important thing that we sometimes do recommend is seed cycling. I have an entire video about that as well. So incorporating all of the above discussed things and following those thoroughly for at least 3 to 6 months can help you greatly in managing your hormones better and helping your body ovulate well, which can in turn help you fall pregnant naturally. If you have any more questions related to this, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And also, thank you so much for sticking by till the end. I will see you again next week.